Well, down here in closer focus, the grey rise of the bridge seems to dominate everything, looming up to our right against a perfect blue sky. It's one of those mornings that Perth dreams about and for which Perth is absolutely and quite rightly famous. Behind and to the right of us, there's the broad sweep of the river like a stretch of watered blue silk with a spatter of boats, some under sail, some with their handy-billy auxiliaries going, some launches, and all of them seemingly dressed overall with strips of gay bunting, all of them crowded with people. We've lost sight now of the red and white of the Zephyr, which has gone under the bridge, packed to the gunwales with people. It looked at one stage when she was making a turn to come under the bridge as though she was going to tilt, but I suppose that wasn't very likely. To our left, the bunting and flag-strewn dais with the Union flag, the Australian ensigns, and centrally placed the Danish ensign, to mark, of course, the enormous part that's been played in the construction of the bridge by the Danish engineers. And now preceded by 3 outriders, 3 motorcycle police. Here's the car with Lady Gardner and the governor's aide, being met and greeted now by the Premier, the Right Honourable David Brand, and behind them 2 more motorcyclists, and drawn up again back on the bridge, the shiny black beetle shapes of the official cars in a long straight line, with His Excellency's car now backing up to join them, ready for the formal procession which will follow this opening ceremony. Across to our left, there are the splendid colours of the Western Command Band, white, black, overlaid with scarlet, the silver and gold of their instruments, and their band draped in scarlet. And now, as His Excellency and the official party moves forward to the reception dais, cameramen cluster around. The cameras up on a stand just across the road from us, all trained on the party, as His Excellency mounts the dais and is greeted there. And Master is ready to start the national anthem. Here is the Commissioner for Main Roads, Mr. J. Digby Leach, to begin this ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the Chairman, Commissioner of Main Roads, Mr. J. Digby Leach.
Your Excellency, the Honourable Lady Gardner, the Honourable the Premier and Ministers of the Crown, the Honourable the Leader of the Opposition, the Right Honourable the Lord Mayor, His Worship the Mayor of South Perth, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed a momentous occasion in the history of our state, an occasion much enhanced by the presence of the Governor, Sir Charles Gardner, and Lady Gardner. Sir Charles having so kindly consented to be here and perform the ceremony of opening to traffic the Narrows Bridge and Kwinana Freeway. May I extend to all of you in this large assembly, and particularly to those early Western Australian pioneers who have shown such eagerness to be with us. It is my privilege as one who has had some share in the evolution of this great project to review briefly the history of the bridge and to pay tribute to those responsible for its planning and construction. The proposals for this graceful and elegant structure had their genesis comparatively recently, when the initial investigations were put in train by the Main Roads Department. At that time, over 6 years ago now, we were confronted with the fact that traffic on the causeway had more than doubled during the previous 5 years. and traffic on Canning Highway was fast reaching saturation point. Another crossing over the river was therefore becoming a matter of some urgency. The initial investigations revealed that from town planning, engineering, and economical considerations, the Narrows was the most suitable place downstream from the causeway. Towards the end of 1954, the government of the day gave its approval to the bridging of the Narrows. An immediate start was made by the Public Works Department on behalf of the Main Roads Department for the reclamation work necessary for the approach road system. It was most important that this reclamation work be carried out with the utmost expedition, as, owing to the presence of a depth of up to 100 feet of mud, consolidation would be a real problem. It was essential, of course, to plan the approach roads would have a capacity that would match the capacity of the bridge, which would have to be designed for the years to come when the metropolitan region might have a population of up to 1.5 million people. The scenic potential of the site was fully appreciated, and discussion took place between officers of the Main Roads Department, the Town Planning Department, and the principal architect of the Public Works Department. And it was agreed that the design for the new bridge should provide for long, slender spans. It was decided that the department's bridge engineer, Mr. Godfrey, should immediately go overseas, visiting Europe and the United States of America. Mr. Tonkin, the then Minister for Works, having stated that, quote, "It was the government's desire that nothing should be overlooked which could possibly be used in enabling us to have a bridge worthy of the site, and it was recommended that Messrs. Monsell and Partners of London should be appointed as consultants to the project." Tenders were called in the early part of 1957, and the lowest tender submitted was that of Christiane and Nielsen of Copenhagen. This was accepted by the government in March 1957, and work commenced in June 1957. The contractors are represented here today by Mr. K.H. Sorensen, Technical Director of the firm, who has just arrived from Denmark, Mr. Liff, Chief Engineer for Construction, and Mr. Harold Clough of J.O. Clough & Son, who has been associated with Christiane and Nielsen Australia. The contractors took in their stride many problems which arose during construction, and they brought the work to a successful conclusion practically on time. And I am sure we would like to offer our thanks to some hundreds of workmen employed for over 2 years on the work under all sorts of conditions and in all weathers. We have with us here today several representatives of these workers with their wives. To all of the great team associated with this work, and whom I have spoken about, and of the role they have played, may we express our sincere thanks on this day for a job well done. It is now my privilege to call upon the Premier, the Honourable Mr. David Brand, to speak.